Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and let's read a book from my favorite author together. So if you've been on my channel for a while, you may know that my favorite author is in fact V. Schwab. I read the A Darker Shade of Magic series probably when I found BookTube, so maybe like 10 years ago, around 2015.
Kitana wins. Flawless victory.
Fell in love with it, absolutely adored it. It is my most read series, I think, aside from like the Wizard books that shall not be named. And I just fell in love with V. Schwab's prose. And every time they have a new release, it feels like both a weight on my shoulders because there's so much anticipation with the release, and joy because I love supporting my favorite authors. I love when my favorite authors release new books. It's just something undescribable, the excitement that is within me. So in this vlog, I will be reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. This is V.E. Schwab's like vampire release, which is really exciting. So in this book, we have three main characters. Maria in the year 1532 in Santo Domingo, and Maria knows that she can only be the prize or prey in the game of men. In 1827 London, we have a young girl named Charlotte who is shipped there due to a forbidden moment of intimacy. And then we have Alice in Boston in 2019. After an out-of-character one-night stand, leaves her questioning her past, her future, and her present, and she's a little hell-bent on revenge. So I'm going to take you back to Kelsey a couple of days ago when I first got this book, when I first started it, and I'll see you at the end. Hello, I most likely made a better introduction to this, hopefully. If all goes well, this should be the Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil reading vlog, the newest release from V.E. Schwab. I'm very excited. I'm going to be honest, since becoming a mom, I haven't really kept up with bookish releases. So I completely forgot that this one was coming out. Also, please ignore my eyebrow. I accidentally shaved some of it off anyways, but I got it in the mail. I do want to reiterate, this is an Amazon package. I pre-ordered this last year before I realized what a hellhole oligarchs are putting us in, and before Amazon closed one of their warehouses here nonchalantly out of nowhere, and put a lot of people out of their jobs. So I just want to make that clear that I'm aware of these things. I do not support them. I ordered this last year, and like I said, because of my mommy brain, I completely forgot about it. So it came in today. It is one of my most anticipated reads of the year, despite the fact that I forgot about it, yes. And it is a signed edition. I was worried that it was only going to be for American pre-sales, that they were going to be signed, so I wasn't sure if I was going to get a signed edition when I pre-ordered it. Oh my god, she's gorge. She's gorge. Queen, oh my god, I can't wait. I really hope this destroys me. Oh, my son's excited for it too. I will be starting this now. I'm currently in the middle of another vlog, but for you guys, it will be my next update next. Hello, so I did get 50% into Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Also ignore the fan, the sound machine, the ventilator. They were here to check fire alarms today. I did go for a run at the gym, and now I'm going to pick up my son at my mom's house because he was there all day while they were checking fire alarms. I didn't do as much reading as I wanted to. I did finish an unrelated book this morning, but yeah, I didn't do as much reading in Bury Our Bones as I wanted to. But such is life, you know? I don't know. I'm not gonna apologize. Hello, so welcome to my first update for Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I am currently 140 pages into it, within chapter 2, but of a section for one of our characters, which I will not expose. For a vampire novel, this is giving exactly what I wanted, what I needed from Victoria Schwab. Even though I probably wasn't as highly anticipating this one as I feel like I would have before having a kid, this definitely is a book that I would expect from V.E. Schwab, and something that in another time I would have been naturally more excited for. There is a narrative around vampires, specifically female ones, that Victoria Schwab is really nailing here. Women are often crucified for their sexualities, embracing not only desires but also homoerotic desires, mostly in the past, right? I just read a book. I don't feel like getting it, so editing Kelsey, put it in. But I just read Too Much, which is a book discussing how the constraints and binds of Victorian society affected them, but also affects us today. When a woman is seen as too much or embracing their sexuality, their gluttony, their anything too much, they are framed far more negatively or seen more negatively than when a woman fits into this patriarchal, like acceptable woman. And often female vampires become this symbol for the opposite effect. And so given that vampire novels came about during the Victorian era, when Victorian society was very constraining on not only women, also men, we'll include them, these binds keep them within a certain frame, and vampires sort of come out as this idealized version of eroticism, of sexuality, and something that needs to be contained in a sense. But the female vampires end up becoming appealing because they embody something that women are forced to contain within them. And then what ends up happening is that homoeroticism, right? With Carmilla, we see it obviously in this one, where the women, because they have a sense of purpose or a sense of power, they search for this equivalence in their romantic desires. And obviously, just being a vampire itself, they are embracing this sense of power, strength that they don't necessarily have within their society. So far we've seen 3 main characters. Also, if you hear that thumping, it's my son. He's rocking himself in his bouncer. We have Maria, and this storyline takes place in 1532 in Santo Domingo in Spain. Then we have 1827 London with a young girl named Charlotte, who until a moment of forbidden intimacy sees her shipped off to London, and she receives invitation from a beautiful widow. We have not seen that chapter specifically yet, but we have, I think, seen this character. And then in 2019 in Boston, Alice moved halfway across the world, leaving her old life behind in order to be someone new. So much like with Victoria Schwab's writing, usually I am really enjoying this just because I love her writing style. The plot has not fully developed at this point. Yeah, exactly. Do you have thoughts about female symbolism in vampires? The plot is not fully developed yet, although I will say in the last 30 or so pages that I've read so far, it has been, and it's really been picking up. So I'm actively growing more and more engaged, which is to be expected with a V. Schwab novel. She is my favorite author, so I'm not expecting anything less. So right now, my kid just woke up from his nap. We are going to obviously play together. I'm thinking we could probably go for a walk as well, and we'll see where the day takes us. But I am hoping to at least get to the halfway point today, because I do want to finish this book tomorrow, ideally Thursday at the latest. Hello, we have some mail, so I just wanted to do a little haul. So the first thing, I did pre-order this from Amazon. Okay. I'm not promoting them, that's why I got rid of the box. I just happened to pre-order this last year after I read Bury Your Gaze, and I wanted the paperback version. So this is by Chuck Tingle. It is the first Chuck Tingle I've read, and I absolutely fell in love with this book. It was fantastic. I think I rated it 4 stars, but in retrospect, I think I'm just gonna give this a full 5 stars. It follows a young man named Misha, who I think writes for a TV show, an Oscar nominee. Yeah. The executives of the studio for his long-running streaming series know just the thing to kick his career to the next level, and that's to kill off his gay characters, and he is not having it. He refuses, and he gets haunted by his past characters. I adored this. I thought it was so good. So I highly recommend this if you're looking for a queer horror this month during June. This was fantastic. Sorry that I ordered this from Amazon. I'm ashamed. Then I got a pair of shoes. I don't know if anybody's interested in that because this is a book channel. Let me know. Maybe I'll start sharing some of my fashion stuff that I buy. I normally just buy band sweaters, workout clothes, and running shoes. So if you're interested in that, I could possibly talk about it along with my fitness journey. But for now, I'm going to keep it out. I did get my Aardvark book club book this month. I'm very excited. I'm so happy I joined this book subscription service. I've never joined a subscription service before. That's a hard word to say. You please ignore me. Don't believe me. I never joined one before because I always found them to be like expensive and like I couldn't really guarantee that I was going to enjoy the books that were available each month. But so far with Aardvark, I have loved at least one pick in the month before I even subscribed. And I realized because I was so interested in the selections, I figured that this might be a book subscription service that I would love. I know, I'm sorry. It's just a little bit of money in the month for myself, okay? For mom. So for the month of June, I would have picked The Devils. It was one of the selections as my second book, but because I had already pre-ordered it and bought it, I could not. This is what the box looks like. When you open it, think inside the box. Ha ha ha, very clever. Then I got Starving Saints by Caitlin Sterling because it's religious horror vibes that... Excuse me? Like I knew it looked like this, and I also forgot that it looked like this. But this is like religious horror, which I absolutely adore. So I knew right away that I had to pick this up. Aemar Castle has been under siege for 6 months. Food is running low, and there has been no sign of rescue. But just as the survivors consider deliberately thinning their number, the castle's stores are replenished. Can you stop farting with your mouth? Thank you. And the divine figures of the Constant Lady and her saints have arrived. Despite the barricade gates offering succor. What word is that? In return for devotion. Soon the entire castle is under the sway of their saviors, partaking in intoxicating feasts of terrible origin. The war hero, Servoin, gives her allegiance to the Constant Lady. As the castle descends into bacchanalian madness, forgetting the massed army beyond its walls in favor of hedonistic ecstasy, these 3 women are the only ones to still see their situation for what it is. I love that I can't say succor, but I could say bacchanalian, hedonistic ecstasy. Those words, no problem. So yeah, that's the Starving Saints. Seems fantastic for me. I'm gonna just order supper for me and my boyfriend. When he goes to hockey, I will continue reading Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Hello, we are on our way to Pilates. This morning I read about maybe like 70 pages of Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Still really enjoying it. We have a development of where the Maria character is in the world, slowly learning about the vampire lore, the different things that Maria has to learn in order to, one, not get caught for eating people, essentially, sucking their blood, sucking their life force, and 2, she's meeting a lot of different vampires, which I think is really interesting because we're learning from elder vampires, and this is the way that V.H. Schwab is choosing to do like the info dumps in a sense. But I'm really enjoying that because I really like these older characters. I like when vampires have this sense of danger. Obviously, like newborn vampires have this danger, but it's very like uncontrolled, unmeasurable. An elder vampire has a very controlled danger, and I always find that really fascinating and interesting. And then we obviously have another newborn, Alice, in the present day timeline, to the 2019 timeline. Crazy that that's 6 years ago, but anyways, and in that timeline, she is searching for Lottie, who turned her into a vampire, and slowly adjusting to life and learning without an elder vampire to kind of show her the ropes so far. So I would say I'm roughly at the halfway mark. I'm accepting that I'm probably not going to finish this today because we do have Pilates. Well, first we're going for matcha, then I have Pilates, then I have to go pick up something at Waronker, which is like Staples. I don't know if that even exists in the States, but I'm going to go to the pharmacy as well. And today my son is learning how to eat apples. So we have a big day. Last night I got to page 325, which means I have about 200 pages left today. It is Thursday. This video is obviously not coming out today, so I just have to get over it. I do have 200 more pages to read, which I think is doable if I really focus today. Exactly. We have to focus. My son and I don't have anything to do really today, so I think I'll be able to read in between like his naps and his feedings and stuff, and while he plays. So I think I should be good to finish it today, and hopefully I'll be able to like edit it all tomorrow and maybe get this video out by Saturday. That's my goal, or Sunday, whatever. But I have to say I am enjoying the book, or the plot rather, a lot more. I think I did mention this, but the plot was fairly slow in the beginning of the novel. I feel like it's really ramped up right now because we are really seeing seeing the stakes of the players in the game. So there are the three characters. We have Alice, we have Lottie, and we have Maria. And I think it's fair to say that they're all vampires. Okay, it's not a spoiler. They are all interconnected, which I absolutely love. Maria is the oldest vampire that has a stake in the game right now. Where I'm at currently in the book, the three lives have just interconnected in a really interesting way. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I think if you're reading it, it's fairly obvious what happens. But we had this really gorgeous section of Maria's where she talks about the love that a vampire she was staying with in Italy. Now, I may be biased because I love Italy. I romanticize Italy. The entire section of Maria being there, staying with two people who were absolutely in love, a vampire that she felt equal to, felt respect for, and his human partner. Found that section to be absolutely gorgeous. Maria's really learning things about the world, about vampires, what it means to love a mortal. Obviously, she doesn't really understand it. She is someone who is fueled by power, and she doesn't get why someone of her equal or someone better than her would succumb to being in love with a human and putting themselves through that emotional turmoil, right? So it's a very beautiful section I found discussing this aspect. Maria eventually leaves Italy and moves to London. She takes lovers here and there, but because she saw the emotional turmoil that the vampire went through in Italy, she refuses to do that until one day she meets a girl and obviously the triangle connects. So I have to say that in the beginning, I'm always very wary of V.E. Schwab's books because I'm always worried that I'm not going to like them, especially because A Darker Shade of Magic is my favorite book of all time. And Addie LaRue, which is the most liked book of hers of the world, I gave a 4 stars. And I have a feeling it was because I was too anticipating it, and I would like to reread it because I think it would help me solidify it as a favorite, but the hype was so strong for it and my need to love it was so strong that I feel like I caused my own downfall. Whereas with this one, I went into it being like, okay, it might not be perfect, you might not love it, just because I didn't want to be as disappointed, and I feel like that's really helping me here, and I think I'm liking it more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my current hyperfixation meal, which is burger bowls. And so I am going to cook the meat down, reheat some potatoes, cut up a salad, cut up some pepperoncinis, make a little Big Mac sauce. Hack if you don't like dill pickles, which I don't. I know it's controversial. I like pickled things. For some reason, me and pickles, we're not friends. What I do instead is use the pepperoncini vinegar, and that makes it a nice little tangy and spicy, and I really like that. So I'm going to make that. I'm going to cook my food. I'm going to eat it, all while reading Bare Bones in the Midnight Soil. Hello, so it is the Friday that I was supposed to post this video, and I had all intents and purposes to finish this book yesterday. I had exactly 27 pages left by 9 p.m. last night. Someone, I'm not gonna name names, did not fall asleep or could not fall asleep unless he was in my arms for 3 hours. I'm not gonna name names though. We don't know who it is. Obviously, I'm gonna finish this morning. I'm gonna put makeup on. I'm gonna film the intro and the outro to this vlog. I'm gonna try to edit it as much as I can today. I also have to wrap a baby shower gift for tomorrow because I just do everything last minute. I don't know why I'm the way that I am. Feed my baby, take care of him, make sure he's alive and well rested and well educated. So that's the plan for today. I'm going to feed my baby, finish Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil, put my makeup on, record the intro and outro. Let's do this. What an ending. So I finally finished a new release from V.E. Schwab. I cannot believe it. Even though I was so scared about this book and scared to not enjoy it, and I tried my best to take my time, really sit with it, I completely devoured it at a certain point, and I just needed to finish it. I sped through the last 170 pages because of someone, but it feels so bittersweet to have been waiting for this book and to now be done with it. But let's get into my final review. I just can't help but feel this sense of emptiness, partly because of course I was anticipating this. Of course it's a new release from my favorite author, so to be done with it feels like I just need more. I would not say that this is a favorite of the year, so maybe that adds to that feeling, but it definitely will be in another year when I do some sort of reread because, and I'm not being like facetious here, I genuinely feel hollow right now. But let's talk about the book in general. My favorite aspect about this book is the concept of vampires. I think I explained this a little bit in one of the clips. The atmosphere and the overall essence of what makes a vampire is what makes this book interesting. They're old, they've seen it all, and they are often people born or thrown into this darkness out of desperation. Particularly, I always love the commentary in vampiric novels when the gender of the main character is not a cis male. The notion of desperation or taking back power and strength or wanting something different in their lives simply feels more current when that is the situation. Even though this novel spans 400 years, which is something that these are still themes that are prevalent today. Obviously, I love the characters. Obviously, I love Schwab's prose. They are always things that I love from Schwab's novels. They're my favorite authors, so it's expected. My one complaint, and I don't know if I talked about this at the beginning of the vlog, but it was definitely the pacing, particularly in the beginning portion, that felt a little slow at times. But again, I feel like it'll really come together upon a reread. I just need to devote time next year definitely to do so. I just realized while this is uploading, so that's why I'm not using my phone, and while I was feeding my son, I forgot to mention, because I think the last chapter was so powerful that it made me forget this, but something that I also didn't like, and this has to do with sort of the pacing, I guess, or the characterization tied in with the pacing, but because we don't see a lot of Alice, she feels like a weaker character in comparison to Charlotte and Maria. And because the final confrontation of the book involves this trio coming together and Alice is forced to deal with them without getting too into spoilers. You know what? I'll put a spoiler tag. So because the final confrontation of the novel occurs at the end between Alice, Sabine, who we know is Maria, and Charlotte, I don't understand how Alice, who is a vampire for a couple of days, a newborn, is able to kill Sabine so fast. It just feels like Sabine would have picked up on this. Alice is unable to control her thoughts. And there is an explanation, right? She's thinking of Lottie that is sort of covering her thoughts, but I didn't feel like it was a strong enough way of hiding from Sabine. And Sabine just comes into the shower to like bang Alice, I'm presuming, and then Alice kills her. And Sabine wasn't able to hear her crack her sake. I don't know. It just felt a little unbelievable for me. It felt like V. Schwab created this very, very memorable and atmospheric novel with very strong characters. Sabine, Charlotte are very strong characters. I felt like I knew them. Alice falls, even though we spend a lot of time with Alice in her backstory. I don't feel like I really know her in a sense, or care about her rather, because we spend so much time with Sabine and Charlotte. I just didn't feel like Alice was able to do that. And then she kills Lottie as well. And I don't know, it just felt really weird to me. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. So, spoilers over, but I feel like the novel's final confrontation to be the more weaker aspect of the novel. I just wanted to mention that because I forgot to do so when I was summarizing and wrapping up everything. That's it. We've come to the end of the book. We've come to the end of the vlog. Please let me know down below if you've read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I need to know. I need to know everyone's thoughts. And if you would like to follow me on any of my other social medias, I do leave a link down below to my Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram if you would like to follow me there. Of course, as I say with the end of every single video, they are controlled by people that I don't really like, I don't really want to support. If they're there when you watch this video, you can follow me. And because it is the end of the video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. It does wonders for my channel. It makes me feel really good. And that's it. I never know how to end these things, so I will see you next time. Okay, bye!